Hello, audience. My name is Dawson. His name is Justin.
Hello.
And welcome to episode 9 of Recommendation Mondays. This is the show where Justin recommends me a movie, I recommend him a movie, and we go watch said movies and come back and review said movies. Now, Justin, last week was my week to pick, but because of some circumstances, we had to skip my week. Um, but go first. What am I going to be watching today?
The movie you will be watching today is Olympus Has Fallen. Or not, London Has Fallen, rather. Because I recommended London Has Fallen. My brain had a
London has
little
fun.
bit of a stroke there. But you'll be watching London Has Fallen.
Okay.
So, Dawson, what am I watching today?
You're watching a comedy classic, Groundhog Day.
Alright,
All
sounds
right.
good. Let's get right on into it.
Sounds good. It's fall.
And we're back. So, I just finished Groundhog Day. Dawson just finished London Has Fallen. And Dawson, how would you go first this time?
All right. So London Has Fallen is a movie about London's in London for the Prime Minister funeral. Mike Banning discovers a plot to assassinate all attending world leaders. Mike Banning um, being Gerard Butler. Aaron Eckhart's in it. Of course, we have Morgan Freeman. This is the sequel to Olympus Has Fallen, as Justin said in the beginning. And right off the bat, I'm going to come out and say this real quick. It is not one of those movies that will ever be up for any awards. And it knows that it's an action movie. That's what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's supposed to have a ton of casualties, explosions, just a lot of action. That's what the movie is, and it does good at that part. Um, all the characters are enjoyable. I believe Aaron Eckhart as Mr. as President Asher. Um, I believe I believe that that Gerard Butler could be a part of the Secret Service because he is a badass. Morgan Freeman, he didn't have as big of a part in this movie. I feel like his shooting time was like a week, and and he was just really short because he was just kind of in and out. While in the first movie, he was one of the main characters because he was the president or acting president in the first one. Um, Overall, I thought it was enjoyable. There's the whole thing where they tried to make you um, try to do a whole pregnancy thing with his wife. His wife is pregnant. He wants to quit the Secret Service, and he's going to do this one last job, and he's going to resign. Speaking about Gerard Butler's character Mike, he's going to resign and become a family man. But he's not. You know that after this one last ride, he's still gonna be in love with it, and he's gonna stay around. So that part, I was kind of like, it wasn't needed, but it was there, and it's whatever. But I didn't feel like it was needed. The action immediately began in this movie. Immediately, it's like 10 minutes in, all of a sudden a bloodbath. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting more of a build up like they did in the first movie. Though the first movie did start the mayhem pretty early on. This one really just wanted to get going. And I didn't know if they could keep the pace of the movie after that first initial, shootout scene. But they kept pace, and it was a good pace. I was never really confused, though. I felt like they overused the whole where we're at, what time it is, trying to keep the audience up to up to pace with the little text boxes. I feel like a good movie doesn't, not a good movie, but a well executed movie doesn't need to tell the audience exactly what time it is, exactly like, but they did anyway. Overall, it was enjoyable. I don't remember what I gave Olympus Has Fallen, but while you're giving your spiel, about Groundhog Day. I'll look it up, but I thought it was enjoyable. It's a fun action movie. It's one that It's one that if you're into those popcorn movies where you can stuff your face with popcorn and just follow a cool action movie, I think it's an enjoyable one, and they're setting it up for a trilogy. So I wonder what's going to fall next. Justin?
So the movie I watched was, of course, Groundhog Day, and it is a weatherman finds himself living the same day over and over again. Everybody knows the concept of this movie, and in fact, these kind of scenarios have been referred to as Groundhog Day, basically, since this movie. Like,
Mm-hmm.
many TV shows have done stuff like this before. Many other movies have delved into this kind of plot before. It's a pretty common thing
Yeah,
within kind of like a sci-fi fantasy kind of realm.
yeah.
Um, this movie is a comedy fantasy romance. I don't really see it much of it as a comedy. I didn't really laugh much. Like, in fact, for a supposed comedy, this movie got pretty dark at like certain points. Like, he tried killing himself like 5 different ways on camera, and then like
Oh yeah.
several different ways he mentions.
I guess I guess when I said comedy classic, it's Bill Murray. He doesn't do many serious movies,
Hmm.
and that's the whole thing. Like it's a comedy, and it's dubbed as a comedy classic. But I can agree with you. It does get dark, and it's not as funny as most people, or not most people, but as you would think, I guess, from a Bill Murray movie.
Hmm. I do agree on the fantasy and romance aspects, though. Um, so those two are pretty fitting for this because, of course, the fantasy aspect is him living each day or the same day over and over again, and then romance, of course, because to end his Groundhog Day, he has to basically do the day like almost flawlessly and end up with the love interest Rita. Um, that's basically how his day ends up ending and starting the next day, which is February 3rd.
Yep.
This movie, I think it was pretty good. I went in thinking it was going to be funny, so I was not in the exact right mindset for it, but I quickly got the gist of, yeah, I've laughed. It's like not like much of like a laugh, but just like the little like snorts.
Yeah.
Like I had a few of those because the cameraman, I already forgot his name. Let me just find it real quick under the cast. The cameraman's name is Larry. I found Larry to be funny. Cause Larry doesn't like Bill Murray's character very much. Finds him to be a jerk, and just like the things he says when he's not around, I found kind of funny.
Hmm.
Um,
Bill Murray plays a jerk in most of his movies.
yeah. Um,
He's good at that character.
the first time we see Bill Murray kill himself, he ran off the cliff with a truck, and then Larry's just sitting there saying like he could still be okay. And then the truck catches on fire, like he might not be okay. It's like you just watched a guy die, and those are the comments you just made. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, friend. Um, but overall, I thought it was a pretty good movie. A romance movie is good every once in a while. Um, so that it was a good change because I don't think you've recommended me a romance movie yet. You've recommended me a lot of different genres, but I don't think romance has been touched yet. So it's cool, change of pace, and it was just a good movie overall. I would say that's pretty much my feelings on that.
I do want to say one more thing. There's one part of the movie that I actually had an audible laugh, and not in Groundhog's Day, but in London Has Fallen, where Gerard Butler is telling Aaron Eckhart's character, like, Mr. President, you need to stay in here. And if anybody comes through that door that is not me, you need to unload your gun into them.
Hmm.
And he says, what if you don't come back? And then Gerard Butler's like, well, then you're fucked. And it's just like I audibly laughed, and I was just sat there and I was like, whatever. And then of course Aaron Eckhart saves Gerard Butler's ass before he gets shot. But I just thought it was funny when he was like, well, then you're done for. Like you're whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my final thoughts. Justin, I did look up my ratings for Olympus Falling. I gave an 8.5, and knowing that for me, what do you give Groundhog's Day?
Um, Groundhog Day, I think I'll give it an 8. it was a good movie, and I think it's deserving of an 8. Dawson, what do you give London Has Fallen?
I'm gonna give London Has Fallen a 7. Still very enjoyable, good action flick,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Would you recommend it?
I'd recommend them both. So yeah, if you like I said, if you want a popcorn film, watch it.
And I would say that I recommend Groundhog Day too if you just need a nice movie to watch with basically anybody.
Mhm.
Pop this in and you have yourself a good time. That's
Yeah,
pretty much it for us guys. Dawson, you have any final words?
but that was a lot of blood. That was a lot of shooting and stabbings, and he can punch people in the throat really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, like, I didn't know the sound that
I didn't know the sound of a
crushing.
jugular snapping, but now I
Yeah,
do.
I didn't know the sound of crushing their windpipe, but it's a crunch. It's something.
Well, with that, I think that's pretty much it for us. Join us on Thursday for Throwback Thursday. It is my pick because it was my week that got skipped last week. So yeah, join us then, and I'll try to find something good.
Bye.